Oh boy. Hello everybody. Hi, my name is Samson Rex, and we are starting today's episode at a trial chamber because I need a lot of copper. This is so dangerous. I need a lot of copper, and I know I can like sneak around and dig and get the copper. This is by sneaking around, but I figured I should, give it at least the old college try. Spider. I hate them. I hate poison spiders. Stop existing. No. Oh boy. It's so hard to pay attention and do an intro. But yes, we are going to need a lot of copper. At least 15 or so stacks for the build that we're going to be working on today. So let's go ahead and run this trial chamber real quick. Fight me, I'm ready. I'm not ready. Oh, they're fighting each other. Yeah, nerds. Ooh, he got the copper armor on. Okay, we got the dings. How did that hit me? I'll fight the winner. Great. Oh, there was a guy behind me. That's how it hit me. Launch up on tasty goosey carrots. Ooh, good spin there, bud. All right. Whoop. He tried a 360 no scope. Yeah, he sure did, didn't he? Okay, I hear breezy boys. Oh dear. Get wrecked, nerd. Ooh, but not. Ooh. I started talking sass too quickly. Ooh, more lads. Okay. Infighting, my favorite. Look at the haunches. Gotta get the haunches. Ooh. Fight. Another one? Yeah. Alright, let's haunt ship and yeehaw. Where are they? Where's everybody? I'm ready for ya. No, really, where are you? In here? Are you all gathered in here? That's awkward. This is a bad place to be. Oh boy. Okay. You know what? Munch. Oh, here are bad ones. Hello. There's so many bad ones. Oh boy. What if you put an arrow at him? Yeah. And now he's poisoned, and now you can fight. Yeah. Thanks for the help, bud. I am like double poisoned. This is a bad time. Ooh, bad time USA. Oh, spicy boy. Oh. Hello. I don't know what kind of guy you are. Or a Zombo. Oh! But also here. Oh, that's fun generation. I love this game. I really do. I appreciate the jank, because it's manageable levels of jank, and then it's just like little fun bits of jank like that. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Ooh. 12. Does cake put off power? Does cake put off redstone power? Is this what I'm finding out? Am I today years old? Why 12? Cake can give you a redstone signal? I want to play around with that. I gotta figure out something to do with that. Great. So let's explore this area. I think there's gonna be bad boys in here. Oh yeah, there's so many bad boys in here. Yep. This is the entrance area. Let's head back uppies. Okay, we are here at the site of the build where I want to do my next giant build. And by giant, I mean this is the biggest build I have ever done. This is actually larger. I'm going to cheat over here. This actually has more blocks than the cliff over here, which had, I think, 30,000 blocks. This build that we have here today is actually 43,000 blocks. So as you can see here, I am actually very organized. I'm never normally this organized, but with such a high amount of blocks, I figure I'd better, know where all of my materials are. And taking a look at our footprint, heading up on Cheaty Cam one more time, we are going from quarter one here, scaffolding, to scaffolding over there, scaffolding here, and scaffolding there. As you can see, I've already installed a beacon, so let's go ahead and jump into a time lapse. I'm sure it's going to be very satisfying of me clearing all of these trees. So let's get into it. quick status update. There is a rather sizable hole in the ground behind me. There are a few other holes in the ground. We'll be placing some pools and such in this area later. Also see over here that I've been messing around with a little terraforming palette here with some jungle wood, some oak wood, some coarse dirt, a little bit of rooted dirt here as well. I'm not going to do the entire thing right now. I'm going to wait to see if this looks good next to the giant building that we're going to be putting here. But yeah, at this point, I believe that we are ready to place blocks. So I think I'm going to do the little up and down thing real quick. I'm going to mark this block. We're going to look down here really quick. And then we're going to look back up. And we have a lot more going on than we had when we looked down. I wanted to get some of these copper golem statues over here to decorate the perimeter of the build and thought, I'll just keep going until they all oxidize all the way. It took at least 3 real days to get all of them to turn into statues. And within those 3 days, I built all of this and I did, just a smidge bit of landscaping around the area. So I mentioned earlier that I was experimenting with that kind of jungle wood, oak wood, and coarse dirt block palette. And I decided that I liked it enough to extend it around the entire building and even included some of it near the shoreline. Yep. Right down here. Of course, we have some of the moss around the area for easy mode terraforming. We've got some of the bush blocks. We've got some leaf litter around here. Let me see if I can find some. Yes. I also threw in some bamboo and some of the bamboo shoots to, help indicate that some bamboo is starting to regrow in the area. And then we've got... Hello? Oh. Rude. Where was I? Oh, yeah. And we have these azalea trees over here. So I needed to add something to the area around the building, and I did not want to do custom trees. They are a lot of work to add onto a build that's already pretty massive, and the vanilla trees, well, they leave a lot to be desired. So I came up with this kind of quick and dirty method to make the vanilla trees look a little bit better without having to place a ton of blocks. For the second time, I'll make a YouTube short on it. It should be up by the time this video's out. It's nothing too crazy groundbreaking in the game of Minecraft, but it was a nice way to make a large number of good-looking trees in a short amount of time. So now moving on to the build itself, or rather what we have so far. We have this kind of plaza area with a pool and this kind of open area over here in the center. Let me go ahead and fly out so we could take an aerial view. So I based this design loosely off of the Stabian baths, which are, were located in the now buried ancient Roman city of Pompeii. And I found this diagram of the baths online here. I'll go ahead and put it up on the screen. And I wanted to translate them into this design here. Starting off with the swimming pool here, or the natatio, we have a cool little mosaic down at the bottom featuring some lapis blocks, some light blue terracotta, along with some blue concrete and blue ice to kind of sell the fact that some of the tiles may be a little more worn down than others. Up next, we have this open area in the center. It is called the Palestra, which houses the gymnasium. This area is where people would do weightlifting, stretching, lift medicine balls, those types of activities. And there is a ton of armor stand potential out here in terms of creating equipment and the like. We probably won't get to decorate in today's episode. This build is pretty massive as is, so we'll focus on the details next time. You will notice in the building proper that we have this lovely block palette that includes both varieties of the packed mud blocks, both varieties of granite, a smidge bit of terracotta here and there, and the hot new block on the the shelf. I slept and I now have a visitor. Oh, I might die. Oh. He touched the water and he just exploded. Oh, that was fun. Okay. Anyway, I can tell you right now, I am a huge fan of the shelving block, and that is definitely reflected in this build. I'm using them in the support pillars here. They line these kind of ceiling beams underneath. They're out here on these braziers, and we have a giant line of these jungle shelves just completely surrounding the entire building. You'll notice that there's an alternating pattern to the shelf face as well. So if you feed them a redstone signal, the shelves will dispense, but any items contained on the shelf will pop out and it changes the face of the shelf itself. So I placed levers behind each of these kind of single face shelves here to give this layer that alternating type of pattern that we're seeing here. It was kind of a pain, but I think that this turned out really cool. Looking more closely at the structure, we have the exposed copper bars. We've got some ceiling beams for support. I added some tuff here underneath to help kind of indicate shadow where it's kind of lighter out here while it's darker underneath. And then we have some walls made of sandstone and soul soil. I don't see soul soil in a lot of builds. I'm not sure why. It's actually really cool looking block and works great in this color palette. We also have these little alcoves, some of which I have marked with scaffolding. The plan is to put some armor stands of some of the Roman gods in these locations. Again, that's something that's going to have to wait until the next episode. And then I'm going to fly up here where we have this little symmetrical covered walkway. The face of the building up here is made of bone blocks and a little bit of mushroom stem kind of peeking out underneath for some type of shadow. It's kind of overgrown underneath and on the rooftop as well. I wanted to convey that this bathhouse is starting to kind of, return to nature a little bit. So we've got a lot of leaves and glowberries to help sell that, along with these neat little trellises out here made of oak trap doors. And then entering the structure, we have nothing. There is nothing behind this moss wall. I totally didn't forget to unpause the recording and have already started building in there. So this time I'm going to walk through each of these rooms as I'm building them. But before that, let's get started with the flooring in here. I think I'd like to do the floor for the entire bathhouse. It's good to start on a solid foundation, right? Floor blocks. At the big floor blocks. My inventory's a mess. Okay, so the floors in here, we have this kind of outline of this, what's this called? Polished basalt, along with some kind of alternating chiseled tuff and some of these chiseled stone bricks over here. So if you want to, let's go ahead and get some of that installed. Start with the outline, and then I'm going to make this kind of grid pattern. And then for the center, we have these alternating patterns of tuff and furnaces. Nice. Okay, we are going to repeat this pattern throughout the bathhouse. So I'm going to go ahead and time lapse that really quick. Okay, floor is in. You might have noticed during the time lapse that here in the kind of center of the building, the floor isn't as fancy as everywhere else. This is where we'll be placing the furnace room where the water for the baths is heated. And I figured since, this is more of a work area, the floors wouldn't be as nice as the more kind of public facing areas. So let's start with our first room, which is right where I am standing, bringing that diagram back up. We'll start with one of the Apodyterium, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is a changing room. Okay, and then we'll start throwing in some of the shelving on the wall over here. All right, changing room is done. This is a very simple room. This is where people would store their personal items in order to get ready for the baths. Again, a lot more of the shelf blocks in here. They work great for these little storage cubbies. Now, okay, I know I said I wasn't going to do any armor stand stuff this episode, but I had this idea for this bench here, using walls as the legs and then using slabs on top for the seating area. I'm still kind of on the fence about it. I don't know about the slabs. They might be a little bit too thick for this instance. I might swap it out to trapdoors at some point. I'm going to keep this here for now. It might grow on me, it might not. I'll be walking past it a bunch as I go and gather material from the shulker boxes in the hallway, so we'll see how I feel after a bit. Anyway, let us move on to the next room. So this room will be a waiting room. Kind of a funny story. I had been using the diagram that I've been showing throughout the episode as a reference when designing the layout of this build. I thought it'd be nice to add a little waiting room after the changing room so that, people could wait for their friends to get changed and then they could all go to the baths together. But then I started kind of doubting this. The idea seemed kind of silly, but I kept wondering what is this room right here? So I did a little bit more digging and found out that it was actually designed as a waiting room outside the Apodyterium. Maybe I have the brains of an ancient Roman architect? I don't know. There might be a brain dead joke in there. I don't know. Anyway, let's continue placing blocks. Lodestones. 1, love the little sound that they make. And 2, love that they're so cheap now because I can totally use hundreds of them and make them my ceiling. I do believe this room is all done. And then it's been overnight. I think I like them. I think I'm going to install a few more in here. Like I mentioned earlier, this was indeed a waiting room outside of the Apodyterium, the changing room. They had stone benches in theirs, but I want mine to be fancy and look like marble. On to the next room. Our first pool will be built in here. This will be the Frigidarium. It's basically a cold plunge. So you'll notice these redstone torches down, and if you did that signal, let normally like that. Looks like a cool little brazier. I almost forgot this one. I have to use them in other spots too, and I've been like, oh no, where did it go? Why do I only have 19 jungle shelves? Because I haphazardly just, placed it on a wall somewhere. The brick with the terracotta, I feel it looks a little too samey with the wall. I'm gonna try something real quick. Yeah, I think I like that more. Maybe I'll try. Yeah, I think I like that better. It feels like more part of the structure of the building versus like an accoutrement. So yeah, I think I'm gonna move forward with this kind of column configuration for the other rooms. All right. I was doing some math. I'm going to turn off hitboxes. I was doing some math to see how many of these warped stem shelves that I'll need for this room. And then I went to go get them, and then I got lost in my own build. I don't think that's ever happened before. Beep. Okay, now officially roof is in. But yeah, I went ahead and did the updated kind of block palette on the pillars in here, and I think that was the right call. I think it would have been a little too red, a little too bricky in terms of like blending in with the wall, because we have so much red and reddish colors with the terracotta, the brick, the granite, etc. I think I was missing 2 blocks over here. Oh yeah. Okay, up next, we are going to put in the Frigidarium, the actual cold plunge pool. There was really no great way to convey like, oh, this is the cold pool, other than, to put like cold looking blocks. Like I would say that snow blocks here. I wish the powdered snow worked in water. So it would have been cool to like plunge in, go to the bottom, and then get that kind of neat little freezing effect that you get in the powdered snow. But it is what it is. Got snow blocks. I've got sea lanterns down here for more lighting. And then of course the blue ice here on the sides. Okay, Frigidarium is in. Yeah, coming in here, the Frigidarium is all done. I really wish that powdered snow would have worked in here. But you can only place powdered snow as is. Once you put water on it, it starts to melt. And it's such a bummer because, again, I would have just loved to have sunk in here and, started doing the little chilly effect as just like a little bit more experience, a little bit more immersion. Again, I'm going to do more decoration. We'll throw up paintings, we'll throw in pots, benches, all sorts of stuff in here in the next episode. Hello. Completely. I'm sure it's been like this for at least a half hour. I'm hopeless. Okay, after that, we're going to move on to the next room, which is the Tepidarium. And, honestly, since the walls and everything are pretty much the same as the previous rooms, I'm just going to skip to building the pool right here. I forgot a single ceiling tile up here. Whoops. Room is basically done. One thing I forgot to mention and install, hold on. One thing that I forgot to mention is that with this larger room, I wanted to have a more natural light source. So it's got this kind of neat little curved ceiling, kind of giving greenhouse vibes for some reason. But despite that, I love it. We got a big glass ceiling up here. It's going to look really cool from up top once we get the, upper floor and everything installed over here. For the block palette for the pool, we have prismarine, waxed oxidized copper, and these prismarine bricks will be topping it with some warped slabs. Okay, Tepidarium in. This is one of the 2 types of rooms that were heated using an underfloor heating system called a hypocaust. This room was at a comfortable temperature and people would just often socialize and relax in this space. As it was a main gathering area of the bath, I'll be focusing quite a bit of decoration on this space in the next episode. So next up, we will hit up the Caldarium. I will check back in once I've got this all assembled. All right, now we have the majority of the room in. A couple of things to note. We've got another one of these kind of curved ceilings with the glass, letting in the natural light. I also threw in some waterlogged slabs in the ceiling. This is the hot room. I imagine there's a lot of steam that builds up in here, so I wanted, some condensation to be dropping from the ceiling. So let's go ahead and get this started in here. And I think this is going to be one of my favorite parts of the build, where I just litter the entire floor in here in campfires. Maybe not. The perimeter kind of bottom section of the pool is going to consist of soul sand, right? Yeah, I always get the soul sand and the soul soil mixed, but I want some of those bubbles since this is like a kind of warmer, or rather the hot pool of the two. So we'll do that. Fun. Okay. Caldarium is done. It's looking nice and hot and steamy in here. I might go back and add a few more campfires as well, but that will be something that I do between episodes. I still got a lot of work to do, obviously. I mean, just looking at the overhead of this thing, we don't even have a proper second floor. We don't have half of the rooms in here, and we don't have a means to even get up to the second floor properly. And I know that this is a long episode, and there have been a lot of time lapses here, but I'm going to do one more where I cover this entire second floor up and then do the final kind of big structure of this entire build, and it's going to really tie everything together. So let's go ahead and do one final time lapse where we get all of that set in. Let's go. Oh yeah, and I guess I can do my lessons learned for the week during that time lapse as well. So okay, yeah, let's hit it. Today's lesson learned is yet another reminder. Don't push yourself too hard, especially on things you enjoy. I think I might have mentioned earlier, this entire build has taken over a month from designing, gathering material, and terraforming, and after a while, I could feel myself getting burnt out. And I know there's something to be said about pushing through a slump. Sometimes that's fine, but a lot of the times your brain just needs a break. Even walking away for 5 minutes to go get some water or something really helps. Giving your mind a chance to switch gears for even a short amount of time is really beneficial. Speaking of switching gears, it's funny, when I do a big build, I'll get a little dopamine bump right around the time when I know it's done. Or at least in this instance, when it's done enough to complete an episode and get a good screenshot for the thumbnail. That time is now. We are already in shaders to show off this bad boy, and look at it. Oh, the towers add so much. They're made of smooth quartz, brick, bone block, and mushroom stem. Take a go closer look with Cheetah Cam. We've got a bunch of accents in everybody's favorite complementary color pair of orange and blue, along with some funky little stained glass windows set into all four sides of each tower. We've got copper, we've got prismarine brick, and we've got warp plank here in the roofs, the kind of dome roofs of the tower. More leaves? Absolutely. I live across the river and that desert over there. If I have the opportunity to use leaves in a build, I'm going to do it. And these towers don't have a purpose other than to just look neat. Their job is look neat, and they are doing it very well. Let's go ahead and do another quick walkthrough of the building with the shaders on. I've completed this hallway here, looking much more complete. Kind of running through the Apodyterium here. Little waiting room outside of there. The Frigidarium, the cold plunge, the Tepidarium, the warm bath, and finally to the Caldarium. I think this is my favorite room of the three. And while this is looking great, we've still got a lot of work to do on the other half of the building, but hopefully today's episode gave you an idea of what's to come. What's happening in the next episode? Who knows? There's another server collaboration project this time for Christmas that I'd like to take a part in. And Randy Bishop, another content creator on the server, is back at it again with another minigame, which I am very, very excited to play. Anyway, that will do it for now. If you like what you see, go ahead and click the like button and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Have a lovely rest of your day, and we will see you next time. Take care. All right. Bye-bye.